Hello, and today marks the start of a very unusual RHS Chelsea Flower Show event. Now, for obvious reasons, this year isn't really a normal year for many events, and the RHS Chelsea Flower Show this year is going virtual, so everything is online. And that's why today I'm going to make a video. I thought it'd be quite fitting. I always show you my vegetable patch for me to show you my flower garden and all of the different ornamental plants that I have in my garden. I've decided to start here at the back of the garden, and here I've got some lupins which a bee is enjoying at the moment. These lupins, I bought the seeds from RHS Wisley last year, and I sowed them last year, and now they're flowering. Because when you plant lupins, they flower on the second year after you sowed them. So if you sowed them, they'll flower the next year. Sorry, I got a bit muddled there. And I've got some sort of light pastely purple one coming out here, a darker purple, and also some creamy sort of off-white ones here. And lupins are one of my favourite flowers. And I've also, here in the hedge, I've tried to get the biodiversity up a bit, and so I've left the foxgloves to grow, and these are going to add a really nice bit of colour to the back of the garden. And just looking here now, I can see that one of the foxgloves has got some pink flowers on it, which is going to be absolutely lovely when they start flowering. And then moving on over here next to where Alfie is, I've got a fern in the wall, and I've also got just a bank here where there's daffodils in early spring, but I try and let some of the wildflowers grow through because that's something that I quite like in my gardens. And normally we just have some containers along this wall. And also, next to these lupins, I've planted a dahlia, and there used to be some sort of grassy type bulbs in there, but instead I've taken them out and I've just put the dahlia in with some bone meal, bloodfish and bone, just to try and get it going there, because I thought this would be a nice little border as a change from the squash bed that I've got down here. That then brings me on to this area of the garden. And over here, or this area of the ornamental garden I should be saying, because normally I do show you the veg patch and I don't show this area as much. So over here I've got many different ornamentals and flowers, and I've also got a little path here that sweeps around into the composting area. It also meets up with another path where I've got some Cotswold gravel which really brightens up the garden in the sun. So to start with, I've got two pampas grass clumps. This used to be one big bit of pampas grass, but as with a lot of grasses, they try and grow around and then the middle dies out. So the middle here died out, so I've dug it all out, and I've also then planted in a bleeding heart or naked lady in the bath flower, and the naked lady in the bath name for it is because the flowers look like a naked lady in the bath when you turn them upside down. And then I've then got loads of other flowers which I'll speak about after, and these rose hips which are self-seeded in the pampas grass, which are quite annoying. I've tried to get them out and I keep cutting them back, they keep wanting to come back. So I thought if they want to be there, they can just be there. And they've self-seeded then from that rose hip hedge there. So here I've got some forget-me-nots, and also I've got a heuchera in this bed, but I've also got some kale, as you will see, and also quite a lot of pansies and lettuce, because I oversowed the lettuce. And then just around the corner I have got some dwarf Nephophia, or dwarf red hot pokers, which is just coming back into life now. I've also then got another bed here, which is by the end of the other one, so they sweep in, which is a bit like a path that draws you through to the rest of the garden and through round to the vegetable patch. And I've got here some forget-me-nots, which I do have in the other bed as well. The plants in both the beds are very similar. I don't really have a very big variety of plants. I've also got these heucheras, which are quite one of my favourite ornamentals, and they've got nice tiny little flowers on them, and these I think add some really good structure and colour to a garden, especially with the variegated leaves. I've also then got some pansies and some, I call them pom-pom daisies, I don't know what they're actually called, and some lettuce. I've also got here a perennial wallflower cutting, which I took from my other perennial wallflower, which is getting really big now. and wallflowers are really easy to take cuttings from, and you can just shove them in the soil and they'll grow just about. I've also then got a dahlia here, which is it's like a candy cane colour, so it's like red and white, which is really nice. And more pansies at the moment, and then a heuchera. It's not really taking, my garden takes sense to take full shape in the summer. I've also got this old chair that I never got round to fixing up, that's got some containers on it and pots, which there is quite a lot of unwanted sunflower seedlings coming up at the moment from birdseed. But we've got some carnations here, some daffodils and some primroses. The daffodils and the primroses are finished flowering now, and once they're finished I'm going to dry them out and I'm going to store them over the summer so I can use that pot for something else. And when you are going to store the bulbs, I recommend that you use a paper bag, because then they'll store really well in somewhere that's dry. These are here then, you might have seen in my wildlife video, these are my dandelions that I leave to go wild, which are it's sort of my wildflower wall, and these are the main ones that are coming through at the moment. I've also got some nice blue flowers, which if you know the name of these, could you please comment down below to tell me what the name of them are. And that's about it for this part of the garden. This is a pallet wood herb trough we've got. On the step of our deck here, where we eat our food from our barbecues in the summer, I've also got some carnations in some pots that sort of line the step, and I think these are a really great addition to the garden. We've also got this rhododendron, which has gotten quite big at the moment, and next time in pruning season I'm going to have a big hard cut back, I think, to try and get it much smaller. I'd just like to take a couple of seconds out of this video to make sure that you've gone down below and subscribed to my YouTube channel, as well as hit the little bell icon to make sure you know next time I upload. This area here is our patio, and this is where we have all of our containers. We've also got some fruit bushes here, but I also quite like the mimulus flowers that you've got here. We've also got here in a little bed here, which is the other side of the bed where the wallflower is, and there's some fuchsia here, which is quite big this year because I forgot to prune it, but I think I quite like it having it that big. So I've also got some ivy drapes in over the pots, and also some lavender here this year at the moment. And as with the chair, I'm waiting for some of the bulbs to dry out so that I can store them over the summer. And lastly, to finish off, I've got this rose arch here, where we have sweet peas growing up it, a clematis, which is a purple really nice one that comes over here, and I've also got here a apricot coloured climbing rose, and just off the camera here I've got some white roses and some pink roses. And don't ask me about the varieties because I really don't know, I'm bad with varieties of flowers, I'm sorry. And we've also got climber here, which we haven't seen for a while, and we can't remember what it is. I don't think it is a clematis, but it looks slightly similar. And this is a perennial sweet pea here. And I still class myself as a beginner in ornamental and flower gardening, because I haven't actually got much experience of doing it, whereas with vegetable gardening I've been doing it for quite a while. But I still call myself a beginner in that as well, because I've still got loads to learn. And somewhere that I go for loads of my information in ornamental and flower gardening is Monty Don's book Down to Earth, which I'll leave a link for down below. And it's a really good book because it talks about the sunlight, on where you should put the sun in the plants determined on sunlight, and about what different soil different plants like, and the different watering and things like that for every different plant. And I just find it a really nice, easy book to read. Even if you don't want to learn anything from it, it's just really nice, easy book to read. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching all the way through it. And also, really, I hope you enjoy the RHS Chelsea this week. I'll leave a link to the RHS Virtual Chelsea down below. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you next time.